The animal that kills you in Texas does not roar. It does not rattle a warning from under the brush. It does not stand up at the tree line and give you the 2 seconds every story promised you would get. Most of the people it kills never see it at all, and the ones who do see it too late, and by then the distance has already closed. That is the part nobody tells you about the deadliest place in the country. Because Texas is the deadliest place in the country when it comes to animals. Not California with its mountain lions, not Florida with its alligators and its sharks. Texas. 520 people killed by animals between 1999 and 2019, and more than 700 by 2024, which is more than double any other state in the nation except one. If you die by animal in the United States, the single most likely place for it to happen is the state you are probably picturing right now as cattle and oil and open sky. And almost none of those people were killed by the animal they were afraid of. Ask a Texan what the dangerous animals are and you will hear the same short list every time. Rattlesnake, mountain lion, black bear coming back into the hill country, the animals with the fangs and the claws and the reputation, the ones that look like death when you see them. Those animals are real, and they are out there, and between them they account for a rounding error. The mountain lion has never killed a single person in the recorded history of the state. The animals that actually put Texans in the ground are quiet, and most of them you would walk right past without a second look. That is what this country does. It points your fear at the thing that looks dangerous, and it takes you with the thing you never thought to watch. So we are going to run the list backwards. We are going to start with the animals you are afraid of, the ones on the warning signs, and we are going to see how few people they have actually killed. And then, around the middle of this list, the ground is going to shift, and the animals that fill the morgue in the deadliest animal state in America are going to start showing up one after another, and every one of them is quieter than the last. By number 1, you may look at your own front yard a little differently. Before we go further, if you want more of these, the subscribe button is right there and it costs you nothing. And do something for me while the list runs. Tell me where you're watching from, the state and the county, or the road if you want to name it. I read them. It is the best map I have of how far this country actually reaches. Number 8, the mountain lion. Start with the animal at the top of every Texan's fear. The mountain lion, Puma concolor, lives in the Trans-Pecos, in the Big Bend country, in the South Texas brush, and increasingly in the hill country where it had been gone for a generation. A big male runs 100 to 150 pounds and stretches 8 feet from nose to tail. It kills deer for a living. It is the second largest cat in the Americas, and it can take an animal several times its own weight. It is exactly what you picture when you hear the word predator. Now the number. In the entire recorded history of the state of Texas, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department has no record of a confirmed fatal mountain lion attack on a human being. There have been 4 attacks of any kind ever reported. 0 deaths. Nationwide, across the whole continent, there have been fewer than 30 fatal cougar attacks in the last 100 years. You are, by the numbers, more likely to be killed by lightning, by a bee, or by the drive to the trailhead than by the animal you drove there hoping to glimpse. The mountain lion opens this list because it is the purest version of the lie. It is the animal on the poster. It is the one the tourist scans the ridgeline for, and the rancher swears is thinning his goats. It is genuinely capable of killing a person, and in Texas, across more than a century of record keeping, it never has. The animal that kills you in Texas is not this one. Number 7, the black bear. The black bear is coming back to Texas, and people are not ready for the fear of it, let alone the animal. For most of the 20th century, the black bear was essentially gone from the state, hunted and trapped out. Now it is walking back in on its own, south across the Rio Grande and out of the mountains of Mexico, re-establishing in the Big Bend and pushing into the hill country and the piney woods of the east. A confirmed breeding population exists in the Trans-Pecos now. The sightings move a little further north and east every year. And with the sightings comes the old dread, the same one the flagship of this genre is built on. The bear in the tree line. The bear at the edge of the campsite. The number for Texas is the same as the last one. In the modern record of the state, the black bear has killed no one. Nationwide, the bear biologist Stephen Herrero found that the fatal black bear attacks that do happen are overwhelmingly predatory and overwhelmingly the work of lone males. But he was describing something that happens roughly once a year across a continent that holds hundreds of thousands of black bears. In Texas, a state now measuring its returning bear population in the low hundreds, the animal is a headline, not a body count. 2 entries in, And the two apex predators of Texas, the two animals every person in this state would name first, have killed nobody. Hold on to that, because the ground is about to shift. Number 6. The rattlesnake. This is the last of the animals you were taught to fear, and it is the one that comes closest to earning it. Closest. Not close. Texas holds 15 kinds of venomous snake. 10 of them are rattlesnakes, led by the western diamondback, the heavy-bodied snake of every Texas story, coiled under the mesquite with its tail up. Add the copperhead, the cottonmouth, and the Texas coral snake, the one snake in the state with the red and yellow bands touching, and you have a genuinely loaded landscape. Around 950 Texans are bitten by a venomous snake every year, and on average, 1 or 2 of them die. 1 or 2. In a state of 30 million people, across 950 bites a year, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department will tell you plainly that more Texans are killed annually by lightning than by every venomous snake in the state combined. Only about 1 bite in 500 is fatal. Roughly half of all venomous bites are dry, no venom delivered at all, a warning, and nothing more. And when the researchers went back through 30 years of fatal snake bites in this country, they found that a large share of the dead had been handling the snake on purpose. Trying to kill it, keeping it, passing it around in church. The snake, for all its reputation, mostly kills the people who reach for it. 3 entries now: the lion, the bear, the snake, the unholy trinity of Texas fear. Between them, in an average year, they kill maybe 2 people, and one of those was probably holding the snake. So, if it is not the fangs and it is not the claws, then what is filling the deadliest morgue in America? Here is where the ground shifts. Number 5. The feral hog. Nobody in Texas grows up afraid of the hog. That is exactly why it is on this list. There are more than 2.5 million feral hogs in Texas, more than any other state, an invasive tide that breeds faster than it can be shot, poisoned, or trapped. A big boar runs past 300 pounds and carries tusks. They move in groups. They are, to most Texans, a nuisance and a hunting opportunity, and a thing that tears up a field, not a thing that kills people. On the morning of November 24, 2019, it killed Christine Rollins. She was 59 years old, from Liberty, Texas, and she had worked as a home health caretaker for about 40 years. That morning, she drove out to a house on State Highway 61 in the rural country near Anahuac, about 40 miles east of Houston, the way she had almost every morning for over a year to care for an elderly couple. She arrived around 6 a.m. in the dark. She parked. She locked her car. She never made it to the door. When she did not come inside at her usual time, the 84-year-old woman she cared for went out to look and found her in the yard between the locked car and the front door. The Chambers County Sheriff, Brian Hawthorne, said at first that the scene was hard to read, that some of it looked like a fall and some of it looked like an animal. The forensic pathologist at the Jefferson County Medical Examiner's office settled it. The cause of death was exsanguination due to feral hog assault. The bite wounds came in different sizes. There had been more than one animal. Christine Rollins would have turned 60 on Christmas Day. Her son-in-law said she never would have gotten out of the car if she had known the hogs were near. But that is the whole point. Nobody told her to be afraid of hogs. There are 2.5 million of them in the state, and they are treated as pests. She was not in the wilderness. She was standing between her car and a front door at 6 in the morning, and the deadliest animal state in America killed her with the animal nobody warns you about. Number 4, the fire ant. You cannot outrun it, you cannot see it coming, and if you are one of the unlucky ones, the thing that kills you is a patch of dirt you stepped on by accident. The red imported fire ant, Solenopsis invicta, is not native to this country. It came in through the port of Mobile decades ago, and it has owned the American South ever since, and nowhere more completely than the eastern 2/3 of Texas. A single mound can hold 250,000 ants. Step on it and they come up the leg in a sheet and sting in unison, each one injecting a venom that burns and blisters. For most people, that is a miserable afternoon. For about 1 person in 100, the ones whose bodies read that venom as a mortal threat, it is something else. The stings trigger anaphylaxis. The throat closes. And without a shot of epinephrine fast, a person can die in a field from an insect a fraction of an inch long. Fire ants have killed more than 80 people in the United States since they arrived, a number of them in Texas. There is no drama to it. No fangs, no charge, no warning growl. There is a mound in the grass that looks like every other mound in the grass, and a body that happened to be allergic, and the most ordinary walk across a Texas yard becomes the last one. It is the exact opposite of the mountain lion. All body count, no fear. Number 3. The Africanized bee. They have been in Texas since 1990, and the country has never quite gotten used to what they turned the honeybee into. An Africanized honeybee, 1-to-1, carries the same venom as the gentle European honeybee in the almond orchard. Sting for sting, there is no difference. The difference is the colony. Disturb a hive of European bees and a fraction come out to defend it. Disturb a hive of Africanized bees, and all of them come, and they pursue, and they keep coming for a quarter of a mile, and they stay furious long after you have stopped being a threat. A lawnmower will set them off, a tractor will set them off from 100 feet. On the 1st of June, 2013, they killed Larry Goodwin. He was 62 from Moody, Texas, mowing a neighbor's pasture on a tractor near Waco. He clipped an old chicken coop with a hive inside it, about 40,000 bees, and they came off it all at once. He ran for a garden hose, 50 feet, and tried to wash them off. A neighbor who came to help was stung. The volunteer firefighters who responded were stung. By the time it was over, Larry Goodwin had been stung more than 3,000 times, and there was no part of his body the stings had missed. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The man who came to destroy the hive afterward put it plainly. In a hive of ordinary bees, he said, about 1 in 10 will come after you. With these, all of them come. Larry Goodwin was doing yard work on a tractor on a summer morning, and the animal that killed him was living in a structure on the property, the same shape of death that took Christine Rollins. Ordinary ground. Ordinary morning. The animal in the wall, not the animal in the wild. Number 2. The white-tailed deer. This is the one. Of every animal in the deadliest animal state in America, the single deadliest is the one on the yellow sign that every driver in Texas has learned to ignore. The white-tailed deer has no fangs, no venom, no claws, and no intent to harm anyone. It weighs 150 pounds, and it wants nothing to do with you. And it kills more Texans every year than every snake, every hog, every fire ant, every bee, every mountain lion, and every black bear in the state combined. It is not close. Texas records among the most animal vehicle collisions of any state in the country, tens of thousands of them a year, and the deer is the animal in nearly all of them. Nationwide, these collisions kill hundreds of people and injure tens of thousands every year. The mechanism is not mysterious, and it is not gory in the way people expect. It is a 150-pound body coming through a windshield at highway speed on a dark farm-to-market road. It is a driver who swerves to miss the deer and puts the truck into an oncoming lane or a bridge rail or a tree. Most of it happens in the rut, from late October through December, when the bucks lose their caution and move. And more than 3/4 of it happens at night. Every Texan who drives already knows the rules, even if they have never said them out loud. If you see one deer cross, more are coming, because they travel in groups and the second one is right behind the first. Slow down and stay in your lane. Do not swerve. The insurance data and the highway safety data agree on that last one completely. The people who die in deer collisions are very often the ones who tried hardest not to hit the deer. The deadliest animal in the deadliest animal state in America is a herbivore that flinches at its own shadow. And it does its killing on the same roads you drive home on tonight, at the same hour the light goes. Number 1. The one you stopped being afraid of. Here is the truth this whole list has been walking toward. Texas did not become the deadliest animal state in America because its animals are the most dangerous. They are not. The grizzly country to the north has bigger predators. The mountain lions that actually kill people are in California and Colorado, not here. The alligators are thicker in Florida. Texas leads the country in animal death for a reason that has nothing to do with teeth and everything to do with proximity. Texas simply has more people living closer to more animals across more ground than anywhere else in the nation. And when you put that many people that close to that much wildlife, the thing that kills them is almost never the animal they were afraid of. It is the animal they had learned to ignore. Christine Rollins died between her car and a front door, in country thick with an animal nobody fears. Larry Goodwin died on a tractor beside a hive in an old coop. The deer do their killing on the roads we cut straight through their range. The fire ants are an invasion we carried in through a port. Every one of these deaths happened on ground where a human being and an animal had been brought close together. And in almost every case, the human had long since stopped watching for the thing that killed them. And if you want the purest version of it, consider this last number. The single most dangerous animal to actually live alongside in Texas, by the count of people it has killed, is not the lion or the bear or the snake or even the deer. In more than 1 year, the state has led the entire country in fatal attacks by domestic dogs. The most dangerous animal in Texas, some years, is the one asleep on the porch. The fangs and the claws were never the danger. The danger was how close we let everything get, and how completely we stopped paying attention. So think about what this list actually was. It is not the mountain lion on the ridge, or the bear at the tree line, or the rattlesnake under the mesquite. Those are the animals that look like death, and in this state, they almost never are. The deadliest state in America does its killing quietly, with the animal in the road, the mound in the grass, the hive in the coop, and the dog you raised it from a pup. Somewhere on a farm-to-market road in the hill country tonight, a yellow sign with a deer on it is standing in the dark, riddled and ignored, the single most honest warning in the state. Somewhere in a back pasture, there is a woodpile with a hum coming off it. And somewhere near Anahuac, there is a stretch of gravel between where a car parks and where a door opens. 40 feet of ordinary ground that a woman crossed most mornings for a year until the morning the ground was not empty. The country did not change. It was always this way. We are the ones who moved closer and forgot to be afraid of the right thing. Watching the way this country has watched since long before there was anyone here to be afraid of the wrong thing.